Hello, my friends. Well, I'm going to be doing something kind of different today. I'm embellishing this pour. It was a cloud pour, and I started playing around with it. Added this part, looked kind of, just to change it up. There were parts of the cloud pour I didn't like, and I thought, gosh, now it looks kind of like a snowy cave entrance. So then I decided to add a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, going into the dark part of it there. I thought that was funny, but he stands out too much on his own. And so I decided I'm going to add some snowy trees over here and maybe some in the distance there. I don't know. I'm just going to go for it. And I thought you might enjoy watching along. So I think you can see you can see my palette here. I've got black, brilliant blue, chrome oxide green, yellow, ochre, and white. And I think those will be sufficient for what I have in mind. The star of the show is going to be, I have an assortment of brushes here, but Filbert. Good old Filbert. That's that round tipped brush. That's going to do the magic here, I hope. I do have some other options here. This is an interesting one. It's a Filbert grass comb. Let's see if you can see it. It's a Filbert shape, rounded, but it's got, it's thinner at the top. It's like chopped into. So it's good for making grass or for blending things gently, and fur. So it's not a regular Filbert. It's a Filbert rake is another name for it. And I love these brushes. This is the first time I'll be using this one, but I have other rake brushes. So here's one that's squared off. It's not a Filbert, but that's a rake brush, and you can see how it thins out toward the end there. Makes great effects. So, but I think for today I'm going to be using this Filbert. It's a size 8. And I'll start with this one, and if I decide to switch brushes, I will tell you. Okay, I'm going to sit down and get to work. I'm going to start by dampening my brush, mixing some black and chrome oxide green. I want a real dark tone to start with. Almost black, more black than anything else. I might throw a little blue in there. And let's see, how big do I want? I want a pretty big tree. I'm going to add a few here, but let's just start with one pretty good size one. This is just kind of a guideline for me. And off we go. I'm just going to kind of quickly dab in the shape of this tree. I don't want it too perfect. I don't want it Christmas tree farm looking. So I'll make some of the branches, because it's in the wild, right? It's not no one is, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, what is the word? It starts with a C. Oh, help me. Let's see. I'll think of it. I can't think of anything else right now. I'm just thinking of how I can't come up with a word I want. Make a branch go a little wonky over here. The only word I can come up with is curate, and that's not what I mean. You know, how an arborist would come and take care of the trees. What do they call that? Oh. Much fuller at the bottom here. Okay, no one's trimming the tree. That's not the word I want, but okay. That's kind of my basic tree there. Clean my brush, and now it doesn't matter that it doesn't have to dry in between stages here. I'm going to go to take some yellow ochre and green and some black. I still want dark, but a little lighter than I had it before. And I'm going to pretty much do the same little dabby strokes. A little more green to that, a little more. That's good. Most of this is going to get covered up anyway with the snow, but I mean, a lot of it will. All right, clean the brush. Now I'm going to make a kind of a blue-gray color. So I'll take some blue, white, and a touch of black. That's too blue, so I'll add more white, a lot more white, and black. Now I've got a nice, what I would call blue-gray. It's too much paint on my, I could have used a palette knife. I'm going to clean my brush out now and then, or wipe it off anyway. Now I'm just going to fill up the tip of it. So only about half of my brush is full. And now I'm going to dab on what will be the base for the snow-covered branches. Some of the green is going to show through. Reload. There's nothing to this. I mean, this is pretty simple. Almost embarrassed to show you, but it's fun. I think I mentioned, he's pretty white, but when I add the white of the trees, I think he'll look okay. If not, I can always come back and tone him down. I'm thinking of adding some footprints up through this area. This is not my typical subject matter, certainly, but you know me, I like to do the unusual. And I have people that like my weird art. Okay. I'm going to lighten it up, more white, and go back again, and I'm going to brighten up the areas mean, that's very blue. You can see on the palette how blue that is, but it's appearing very white on here. I'm going to make this part of the tree the brightest because light colors come towards you, and that will help give the illusion of roundness, of dimension to the tree. So, you know, I add a little bit everywhere, but I'm going to really mostly concentrate on the lighter, not exactly in the center, a little off center. And I don't want this stripy business going on, so I'm kind of overlapping where I had that before. A little more white. Really, I'm just dabbing paint on, you know? Now when I come back with the white, it's really gonna pop. And if you have a ratty filbert, you can get some really good looking like that. That's really neat looking. I'll have to zoom in and show you that. This is not really a ratty filbert, but it's giving me the effect I was wanting. Okay, now I'm going to clean my brush this time, and I'm going to go into pure white and really make that pop there. So here we go. It's not bad if it blends with the paint underneath, but if you're concerned about it, you could let it dry between coats. But I think it'll look more natural if you go wet into wet. Do you see how it's darker on that side and even a little bit on that side? It's really, I think it's giving it a lot of dimension. The whole thing is kind of spooky though. I don't think I want to have like there's a big light source or anything. So we'll just let the snow kind of do its thing in the moonlight here. Maybe I need to add a moon. Maybe I could add a moon up there. I don't know. Okay. I like that. Let's do one more over here. I'm going to add a lot more, but you get the gist. Let's just do a little one. So, my black and green mix. A little bit of blue, mostly black to give it that depth. Let's see. cover up this, want to cover that up? Yeah, I think I do. Same thing, just on a smaller scale. I could probably skip the green and the green step. Clean the brush. I'm thinking I might even just cover him up. I don't know, he's so silly. It would just be pretty to be a valley of trees. I might just do that. What do you think? I won't do anything for a while, and you can let me know. Whoops, I want my darker. And going in. Another way you can do it is just use the tip of the filbert. I do want to make it a little, not so manicured. Maybe that's the word I was looking for earlier. Now into the lighter blue. So yeah, this is a little different technique. I'm just tapping the filbert brush, which is making the branch shapes all by itself rather than kind of forming them. And now I'll clean the brush and go with straight white. Maybe I could have him kind of half hidden so he's not really a focal point. He's just kind of there, hidden among the trees. Huh. I don't know. Kind of floating there. I'll have to do something with that. I don't like the way that's just sticking out. Maybe I'll make a cliff there or just add some more trees. Anyway, you get the gist. It's really quite simple. I think I prefer this tree over that one, the technique, over these little moon shape, half moon shape things. I can kind of change it up. But anyway, I'll probably decide what I'm going to do before you tell me what you think I should do. But I'd be curious to know, should I keep him? Should I cover him up? Let me know in the comments. And if I keep him, should I add footprints? Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, my friends. Bye now. Well, this is how I finished up. I forgot to bring in for a closer look at the tree anyway. So as you can see, I added another 4 trees, and I worked on that tree to the far right. It was too light and I lost the dark, so I added a lot more dark. That kind of pushes it into the background. I did add a moon there. And then I gave the Yeti a wash of blue to kind of tie him in. He still stuck out too much, I thought. So let me bring you in. That's the tree I did for you. And then the one behind it to the far left, I didn't add any white. And that makes this one with the white come forward. I might work on that little one a little more, darken it a bit. Yeti, I did kind of throw some marks on there. I didn't want, actual footprints with toes and everything, but it's just a suggestion of him climbing up there. And then I added another tree here, and yeah, there we go, and a little moon. So I haven't varnished it yet. I might still putter with it a bit, but I wanted to give you a closer look at the final piece, and there will be a still shot at the end. Thank you again for joining me, my friends. See you later.